Will Bitcoin dip to 114K or not? Let's see on the charts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, whenever you're watching this video. Welcome to the Bitcoin family channel. For the newcomers, my name is Didi. In today's video I have 3 amazing news items, I have 5 amazing charts, I have an inspirational quote which I will end the video with, of course. Let's quickly jump into the news first because there is some epic news I need to share with you now. Could we dip to 114K because there is a CME gap over there? Or is it the reason, for example, that the first bill hasn't been passed? The first 3 I talked about in the video 2 days ago. I said there's a crypto week ahead. We have 3 bills that need to be passed. Yesterday, the news came out that most of the votes were against those 3 bills. So those 3 bills failed to pass a key procedural vote in the US House. So maybe the bills need to be reviewed or whatever is happening. But those 3 bills, as they were submitted now, they did fail to pass the procedural voting in the US. But as that news came out yesterday, I saw a Bitcoin pump again. Yeah, we had a little bit of a dump to 116K and then we are climbing up again. At the moment we are around 118,000 US dollar. So that failing of the bill passing has not really been a big damage to the Bitcoin price. I do understand that the United States has a big influence on the price at the moment because of Trump. But please understand that the world is really big. It's not just the United States that's buying Bitcoin, it's all the world that is buying Bitcoin. So the price won't be shaken too hard because one country is not passing 3 bills at the same time because they need to be reviewed again. That is not going to shake up the Bitcoin price too much in my opinion. Now let's jump into the second news item. The second news item is about the $700 billion big Deutsche Bank. The Deutsche Bank just said, yes, we agree, Bitcoin is maturing and it won't take long before all pension funds, sovereign wealth funds and many other institutional funds will start to adapt to the Bitcoin standard and use Bitcoin as a very important asset of all the allocations they set aside for strategic reserve. So yes, the $700 billion big Deutsche Bank announced after years of being negative against Bitcoin, yes, Bitcoin has matured and will become part of a strategic reserve of all the pension funds, all the institutional investors, even all the sovereign wealth funds. This is massive. And please do understand, I am not fond of the banks stepping into Bitcoin this big, guys. I prefer Bitcoin to be the tool and the asset of the people, from the people. But as those people that should be buying are not buying, those Bitcoins are now being bought up by the BlackRocks, by the Vanguards, by the State Streets, by the institutional investors, by the pension funds, by the large corporations, by the MicroStrategies, by all of these countries. They are buying the Bitcoin that you should be buying because Bitcoin is going to give you that freedom that you wished for all your life. And because you don't buy them, you will be forced to use the central bank's digital currencies and by that don't get any freedom. That is the whole game. Freedom, non-freedom. You should be buying Bitcoin not just for the profits, but also for the freedom aspect. You can handle your wealth and your capital the way you want if you own Bitcoin. The moment you own fiat currencies or central bank's digital currencies, they will be able to interfere in each and any way they want. Freeze, confiscate, whatever they want to do to your central bank's digital currency, they will be able to do it. They can't freeze your Bitcoins. They can't confiscate your Bitcoins. They can't even touch your Bitcoins. And you can freely move around the world and use your Bitcoins. That is why Bitcoin is giving you the freedom that you really need in the next decade. The third news item is a very important one. Do you remember I told you guys that there was a guy that had 80,000 Bitcoins in his wallet, that he was moving those Bitcoins for the first time in 14 years because he had them in around 2011 and he started to move 80,000 Bitcoins. 40,000 of those Bitcoins have been moved to Galaxy Digital and Galaxy Digital moved them into Binance and Bybit. Does that mean that this huge whale of 80,000 bitcoins is selling its bitcoins now through Galaxy to Binance and to Bybit? I do think that happened, and I do think that is one of the reasons of that dip. I think he took profit. He bought them for 32,000 US dollar and he sold them for more than 4.7 billion US dollar. That's a shitload of profit, guys. So yes, congratulations to whoever you are. You were a true hodler. You did step in early. You did hodl for 14 years. But now, please stay in. Do not sell the other 40,000 Bitcoin as well. Because you also understand you're going to go higher and higher and higher. I hope it is just a massive whale that just want to create cash flow to invest a little bit more in Bitcoin companies or companies that are building on the Bitcoin blockchain, and by that strengthen Bitcoin even more. But maybe he was just a lucky guy that bought 80,000 Bitcoins completely in the beginning, and he was like, okay, now I want my 4.7 billion. I want to buy a house and a castle and a yacht and an airplane and whatever else you can buy for 4.7 billion. I do think it's a shitload of money, so I need to say, well played. Congratulations, have fun with that 4.7 billion. As promised, 4 news items. The 4th news item, guys, is about Vanguard. We all know that BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street are the 3 biggest companies of the world. They rule the world. They have like a share in all companies. If it is Google, a travel agency, whatever it is, Uber, whatever you know, those 3 companies have a share in it. Now, Vanguard was completely against Bitcoin. They said, BlackRock, you can do Bitcoin. I am not going to go in Bitcoin. We don't believe in Bitcoin. Vanguard was against it, completely against it. But now, through some transparent papers, we saw that Vanguard is one of the biggest shareholders of MicroStrategy. So through MicroStrategy, they also own their Bitcoins. That is how these large corporations play, guys. They say one thing to you, you are fooled, and they are buying companies that own a shitload of Bitcoins. Same that BlackRock said in the beginning, no, Bitcoin is nothing. No, our investors don't want Bitcoin. No, BlackRock is not something to be connected to Bitcoin. Now they are becoming one of the biggest Bitcoin holders. That is how it works. You are fooled by the media, by the news, by the newspapers, by everything that is owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. They control that media. They want you to see certain things yes and certain things no. They even control YouTube. That is why so many YouTube influencers in the Bitcoin industry get strikes, get warnings, get their channels deleted. Because BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they don't want you, the retail, the normal people, to buy Bitcoin. They need those Bitcoins for themselves, for their ultra-rich investors. That is why you don't get my videos pushed on your timeline every day, but you get like dancing crocodiles pushed on your timeline. Why? Because I really believe they don't prefer you to see all the Bitcoin content that will maybe convince you into buying Bitcoins, because they don't want you to buy the Bitcoins. They want to scoop up all the Bitcoins. I really believe that this play is way bigger than most people think. Most people think it's about YouTube ban, and because of Bitcoin is not safe. Stop it. Stop it. Trump has called Bitcoin legal. All over the world, Bitcoin is seen as legal. YouTube, for as far as I know, is a United States company. They are not against Bitcoin anymore. It is the company that controls YouTube that make sure that not everything is being seen by those people that shouldn't be seeing it. That is what I truly believe. That were all the 4 news items, guys. Let's quickly jump now into the charts to show you what I think is going to happen to Bitcoin today, tomorrow, and the next week. Bam. The first chart for today, guys, is this 4-hour chart, guys. On the 4-hour chart, we can see we wicked all the way to those 116k levels, but the bodies found support on this level over there, 116,600. Now, if you look to the left, guys, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 candles fighting with this area before the 5th candle closes above this area. So this area was an area of resistance. If you zoom into the 1 hour, you can see it even more clearly. Let's do that for a minute so that you see it over there. Look, now you see it more clear. These candles were all fighting the level before we broke it. Now, the moment that happens, you know this is going to be a support level in the future. And then exactly that now was a support level in the future. We are now over here. We are starting to become more bullish. There is no buy signal on the 4 hour yet, but that will come, because on the 1 hour we already saw a buy signal. On the 4 hour we will also see a buy signal very soon. And then we need to have a candle closing above the yellow stepping line to get more bullish. But as you can see on the bottom over here, the yellow starts to curve up again, the red starts to curve up again, the blue line starts to curl up again. So everything always takes time, but there will be a moment we get that beautiful setup again, where the candles close above the yellow stepping line, where the blue line is above the white line, where the green line is on top, and where the yellow turns to green. And that's another amazing moment we will take along on the 4 hour. Now, on the daily, people ask me, why at 120k? Why didn't we go higher? Why was that a resistance? If you look on the daily chart, you can see why that was the resistance. Because here, these are the body closings over there. And that is exactly at 120,000 US dollar. So there is the resistance, 120k. So that's just another resistance level that is like more mentally than it is like TA, because TA there is no resistance, but wow, 120, let's sell, you know. And that's what you see in that candle, with a large wick to the top and a small body on the bottom over here. Here you can see that indeed a lot of people were like, no, oh, they 120, take profit, sell. And then you get a candle with a large wick on top, a small body, which is like bullish, bearish short term. But to be honest, these candles are bullish long term. Because if you look at the candles, you can see them now here on the top left. There you can see all the candle patterns. When they stay green, it's a bullish hammer, which hammers it even higher up. You know, when it would have been a red candle, that would have been different. Then that would be more bearish than people could think of. But at the moment, I am not too bearish. I can see the resistance and the support in these areas around 120k, and I can see us pumping up again if there is enough volume coming in. Now on the daily, we do see also the RSI was above that 70 line, and we are coming down below that again. So that is something that is a little bit bearish in my opinion, because look, the moment we go above it, we mostly come and correct below it again, and that's also the correction in the charts. Now this time the correction was from the top to that green line, if you can see over there. Now again we went above it. Could we again correct that green line? That's 107,000 US dollar. Okay, all possible. The blue line comes first at 111,000 US dollar. But guys, I have an inspirational quote in the end that will help you to do what you need to do at the moment, guys. Very simple. Trading is very simple if you just don't get too emotionally involved. Now, if we look at this chart, we can see that there was a huge spike, guys, in here in the Bitcoin long-term hodler realized profit. Of course, we went to a new all-time high. There was a shitload of profits, and of course on-chain profits also, because that huge whale of 80,000 Bitcoins was playing his game. So that's why that huge wick was there, guys, in my opinion. Now, let's go to way more important charts. This one I found on Twitter, on the Tech Dev Twitter. I find this very interesting because every time it plays out the same way. You have the liquidity weighted business cycle, and we have the Bitcoin cycle. Now when we touch that bottom over here, we know, okay, from here we're going to get more bullish. From that circle over there, that's late 2016 and this time, that is when we really took off in the Bitcoin price, also in the liquidity. Here the same. From that moment, late 2020, that's bam, when that last huge euphoric push came. Now, we touched that bottom, we went already bullish, we are around that circle level now, mid-2025, we still need to get that last huge push. Please understand this. This still needs to happen. And that push will go to 160k, in my opinion. It will be this push. So from here, steeply up in this area over there, guys. That is why I believe that that push will end there, 160 to 200,000 US dollar. That is where that green line will be pushed. It will be that last push till that red dot, and the red dot will take us again into a bear market. It is simple as that. Here we can see it as well. You can see very clearly where we are at the moment, and at the moment we are about to go fucking insane bullish again. Why? Because look to the chart. Every time when red turns into green, boom. Red turns into green, boom. Red turns into green, we will again go boom. This is amazing. I should have said bam, bam, bam. But this is amazing for Bitcoin, guys. Of course, when it comes to trading, I have an inspirational quote to end the video. Please watch that quote so you understand exactly what I am doing as well at the moment, because you should be doing the same. Let's jump into the next part. Use my special link down below here to sign up to Bybit and claim your amazing bonus up to 30,000 US dollar. You will receive $30 for just signing up. Use my link down below and click it now. I hope you really enjoyed the chart. Short term, shitload of volatility. That's amazing for all the traders, guys. You are able to trade, buying and selling. Also, our algorithms that is creating 3.5% profit each and every month loves this volatility. Because of this volatility, our algorithm, our trading algorithm, is able to make those profits. Spot, we are making around 7% per month in the last year, so 70% profit in the last year. With the inverse perpetual, which means trading in Bitcoin, we made almost 45% in the last year. So that's around 3.5% each and every month, guys. One Bitcoin turned into 1.47 Bitcoins in 12 months time. That's a shitload of profit by doing nothing. You can go to the beach, you can go do some cool stuff with your children, you can go do your job, you can do whatever you want. Our algorithm will keep trading for you 24/7 and make 45% a year. That's a shitload of profit. At the moment, that's almost 50,000 US dollar profit in the last year, because I started to trade publicly with one Bitcoin in that account, guys. Yes, of course, privately I trade way more in those accounts, but the public account that I'm sharing already since the beginning with one Bitcoin is now 1.5 Bitcoin in 15 months, guys. That's an amazing result. So if you want to become one of those that is making profit while you're sleeping or whatever you're doing, then go down below to the link, trade with sequence/TBF. Click that link. That link will lead you to the website where you can sign up. It doesn't cost you anything up front. Only when you make profits, you need to share a part of your profits with us. Nothing else. No fees up front, no hidden fees. Just when you make profit, we will send you an invoice. We can see you make profit. You need to share a part of the profit with us. That's all, guys. Go to the link down below and check it out, guys. For the rest, zoom out in Bitcoin. The end target for Bitcoin, October, 160K is still on for me, guys. Bam. Today, an inspirational quote that is not really inspirational, but it is a very important quote when it comes to these moments in the Bitcoin cycle, guys. Nobody ever got poor of taking profits. Please print that in your mind. Print that on the back of your eyes. Nobody ever got poor of taking profits. In these moments that you bought Bitcoin at 20,000 US dollar and we are hovering around 120,000 US dollar, I understand you become even more greedy and you think, wow, I will wait till 140 and 150 and 160. I do understand all those emotional feelings, that whole cycle. I've been through that cycle many times. But I never got poor of taking profits. Dollar cost average out. If you bought at 20K, 25K, 30K, 35K and 40K, also sell at 120K, 130K, 140K and 150K and maybe even at 160K. You can't predict the exact top. And if you don't sell now, or at 120 or 130 or 140, you know what's going to happen? At 140 you think, no, I saw an article, we're going to go to 400K. I'm going to stay in. And then on 140, bam, we get a 60% crash, back to below 100K. And then you have way less profits or maybe even loss if you bought a little bit of Bitcoin still around 100K. Don't be fooled. The market will try to fool you and your emotions will also try to fool you. Trading is not an emotional game. Trading is about TA. Read the charts. We had many weeks of bullishness, a lot of green candles. There will be corrections. So why not take some profit? You bought at cheap prices, you're taking a shitload of profits. Within 2 years' time, you did 600%. 600% profit. There's no other asset you could have done that. So again, nobody ever got poor of taking profits. I did lose a shitload because I didn't take profits. Not on Bitcoin, altcoins, meme tokens. Because I didn't take profit, the prices crashes then, and I was below the price that I bought it. So if you don't take profit, that will make you poor or keep you poor. Taking profit, nobody ever got poor, guys. That was everything for today. I hope you really enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the video, give the video a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. What do you think about the news? What do you think about the charts? What do you think about taking profit? And of course, I'm talking about your trading portfolio. I'm not talking about your hodl portfolio. Hodl portfolio, you hodl forever. That is your pension fund. You don't sell them ever. You just keep adding to your hodl portfolio. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your trading portfolio. In your trading portfolio, you need to take profit. Thank you for watching. I wish you an amazing day and see you Friday again. Yes, tomorrow I'm going to skip the dollar day. Yes, only 3 videos during the times I am celebrating a little bit of holiday as well. Bam!